Hello, 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 hello. Hey, this is Warren Redlick. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to be talking about Elon Musk and what I describe as the Democratic Party's war on Elon Musk. I'm going to explain why I think that. I'm going to go through a whole bunch of stuff I'm going to show you. Some people have already formed an opinion. In the chat, there's a Richard Barnes who says there is no war against Elon. He breaks rules and barely gets his hand slapped. He definitely gets away with more shenanigans than most people, i.e., SEC rules, misinformation, etc. Okay, so Richard is lying. I don't know if it's intentional lying or whatever, but Richard formed his opinion before watching the video. I'm about to explain why I believe the Democratic Party is at war with Elon. What I think is overwhelming evidence that the Democratic Party leadership has decided. I'm not talking about Democrat voters. I want to be clear. I think the Democratic Party is actually screwing up in their approach by alienating their own voters. There's a lot of voters who like Elon. And I think it's a terrible strategy on the Democratic Party's part. And I should stress, I am technically a registered Democrat. I'm really a libertarian. I really tend to vote for libertarians. I vote for both parties, or historically, I voted for both parties. In the last election, I voted for Ron DeSantis for governor, Republican. I voted for Nikki Fried, a Democrat, for state agriculture commissioner. I voted for my neighbor, all of a sudden can't think of her, Tina Polsky, for state senator, a Democrat. I voted Republicans and Democrats. But I'm at a point right now where I can't see myself voting for any single Democrat at all in the next election, and probably the election after that. I just can't see myself doing it. So I want to stress, and before I get into that, really quick, check out the t-shirts, elonbits.com. It has the Be Less Wrong t-shirt. Maybe your feedback on this live stream will persuade me that I'm more wrong than I realize. Maybe listening to me will persuade you that you could be less wrong, that you might have something wrong. So let's have a conversation about that. First thing, though, Richard Barnes, there's this attitude that a lot of people have that the Democratic Party isn't at war with Elon Musk. And look, you can't explain this. You can't explain Joe Biden, President Biden, having an electric vehicle summit and not inviting Tesla. I think this happened twice. They invite Ford, General Motors, Stellantis. Nobody even knows what Stellantis is. It's Chrysler, Dodge, and whoever else they merged with. As far as I know, they don't make any EVs of significance. None of them makes any EVs in any meaningful volume. Tesla's making over 1 million a year. On their current pace, they're making over 1 million a year. They made nearly 1 million last year, and they're growing. This is a prime example. This is the leader. Look, you can dislike what I'm saying, but you cannot dispute that Joe Biden is the leader of the Democratic Party. He will not say Elon Musk's name. He mostly pretends that Tesla doesn't exist. He had an electric vehicle summit. The largest electric vehicle maker in the United States and one of the largest in the world, if not the largest in the world, is Tesla Motors, right? Joe Biden, this is back August of 2021. From the day they took office, the Biden administration has ignored Elon Musk, ignored Tesla, ignored SpaceX. For whatever reason, they have been at war with Elon Musk at a low level. Then the Twitter thing happened. Elon decides he wants to acquire Twitter. He's not happy with the biases that he's seeing. He's asking his followers what they think. His followers overwhelmingly said Twitter is biased. And he said, okay, I'm going to buy Twitter. I'm going to fix it. Elon spends a fair amount of time on Twitter. It's a way he communicates with his audience. It's important to him. He describes how I think it's important to have a fair town square, public square where people can say what they want to say and have a free speech platform. And Twitter, I personally have experienced censorship both on YouTube and on Twitter, and I got banned from Facebook. Elon has taken the position that we should have a free speech platform, and Twitter has not been a free speech platform. The prime example that he mentioned before was the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop story. That was a true story. The media, whoever decided it was false, Twitter suppressed that story from the New York Post. There's been a ton of censorship, and it's wrong. And we need to address that. So I want to go through. I'm saying the Democrats are at war with Elon Musk. I don't mean the average Democrat voter. I think there's a lot of Democrat voters who are sympathetic to Elon. Before we get in, I just want to say, what did Democrats tell us that they care about? Okay? They told us that they care about climate change. They said climate change was the greatest threat to humanity, greatest threat to Earth, greatest threat to humanity. Who is doing more about climate change than Elon Musk? Listen, I personally, I'm not vote. And just to be clear, by the way, I said I'm a registered Democrat. I'm a registered Democrat so that I can vote in Democratic primaries because I live in places where Democrats win general elections and my vote for a Republican wouldn't matter. So a vote from a Republican primary wouldn't matter. There's no libertarian primaries, but a vote in a Democratic primary decides who's going to be the Democratic candidate, who's probably going to win the election. So I was able to help my friend Tina Polsky get elected to state Senate over some other Democrat. I was able to help Nikki Fried get elected to Agriculture Commissioner over some other Democrat. There are other Democrats that I voted for who were better than the other Democrat. I'm not partisan Democrat. I'm certainly not partisan any of the major parties. I'm not even partisan libertarian because the Libertarian Party is a little crazy. But so what you're going to see is a barrage of attacks from Democrats, from publicly identified Democrats. I'm leaving out, I don't even have Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, Robert Reich, Bernie Sanders, the squad. There's all these supposedly left of mainstream in the Democratic Party politicians who've been attacking Elon for months, if not more than a year. Okay? I'm not even including that. What I want to show you is these are Democrats who are speaking openly about they're just trashing Elon. So this is Brooklyn Dad Defiant. He has 918,000 followers. Okay, don't tell me this is just some random liberal. Okay, this is some unimportant random liberal. He has 118,000 followers, or 918,000 followers, nearly 1 million followers. He says, "I will never buy a Tesla. How about you?" This isn't about Elon acquiring Twitter. They are making this about Tesla, the company that is doing more than any other company on the planet about climate change, that is promoting solar, that is promoting battery backup to support solar and wind, that is delivering electric cars in high volume. And this, I'm sorry, libtard, is attacking Tesla. Why would you? He's got Stand With Ukraine on his profile, right? Stand With Ukraine. Elon sent Starlinks to Ukraine, got threatened by the Russians. What? This is one of those things that no good deed goes unpunished. So Elon, I don't agree. I don't think Elon should have sent Starlinks to the Ukraine. I'm not taking a side on the issue of Ukraine versus Russia. It's just, it doesn't matter what you do. The woke left will hate you if you don't do everything they want you to do. And even if you do everything they want you to do, they will find one little thing, or you just make too much money and they will come after you. What does this have to do with Tesla? Why are you hating on Tesla? Why are they hating on Tesla? This is some vague attempt at like suppressing demand. And here's John Cooper, former National Finance Chair of Draft Biden 2016. Okay, Long Island campaign chair for Barack Obama, majority leader of Suffolk County Legislature. Suffolk County is part of Long Island. It's the eastern part of Long Island. Okay, 974,000 followers rooting for Elon Musk's Twitter deal to collapse. Okay, this guy hates Elon. He's rooting for the Twitter deal to collapse. Okay, here's this guy Conway, used to be Republican, now he's a Democrat. Works for the Washington Post, Jeff Bezos' paper. There's someone on this website whose name rhymes with Milan Dusk, who was a security lawyer's worst nightmare. Why is this guy bashing Elon? Nearly 2 million followers. Why is he bashing Elon? What is this about? Here's another one, 100,000 followers. This guy, Covey. Elon Musk is learning that maggots don't buy electric vehicles. Maggot is a reference to Trump supporters. Okay, MAGA, Make America Great Again, the T, makes it sound like they're maggots. Okay, so it's dehumanizing, right? This is dehumanizing language. Learning that maggots don't buy electric vehicles. Tesla doesn't have a demand problem. I don't understand, like, it's like they're being completely irrational. They're being, like, if they thought, like, Tesla was in jeopardy because they wouldn't be able to sell cars if they were able to suppress demand for Tesla, okay. But Tesla has, like, a 1-year backlog on some of their models. I ordered a Model X Plaid in August. I'm still waiting. Maybe I'm going to get it in July. If you order a long-range Model Y today with Aero wheels, I think you wait like a year to get your car. They don't have a demand problem. This is so dumb. Teslas are popping up everywhere. It's gone crazy. So there's this one Green, Matthew Green, okay? Elon says Biden's mistake is that he thinks he was elected to transform the country, but actually everyone just wanted less drama. It's not a partisan comment. And he says, Jesus, Elon, enough with the politics. Used to be a rare thing. A person was envied and admired by people across the political spectrum. Now you're like a bad conservative AM radio station. What an opportunity squandered. Has Elon said anything about abortion? Has he said anything anti-gay? Has he said anything racial? Where does he sound like a bad conservative AM radio station? No, you have gone far left, woke left. some professor at Johns Hopkins, right? 130,000 followers bashing Elon. Where's the politics here? Do you think Biden was elected to transform the country, or do you think people were just tired of Trump? Right? I think that people were tired of the Trump drama. I don't think people all of a sudden say, "Hey, let's go full socialist." I don't know what you thought, but I don't think Elon's take is partisan. He's not sounding these assault. There's this guy Hasan, Mehdi Hasan with MSNBC. This is one of the talking heads on MSNBC, an arm of the Democratic Party. Dear Elon Musk, instead of replying to right-wing bad faith Twitter accounts that selectively clip the words of liberals and leftists, in this case prompt you to then distort my words, why not come on my show and do a robust interview with me on your views on free speech? Look at this. Like, he talks about Elon embracing right-wing bad faith Twitter accounts. Does he actually follow Elon? I mean, most of what Elon tweets about is Tesla, SpaceX, Boring Company, Neuralink, cryptography, Dogecoin. And he thinks that Twitter is biased to the left because it's headquartered in San Francisco, which is biased to the left. And then he, after taking this ridiculous shot at Elon and then getting responses from Elon's face, look, Elon has like 94 million followers on Twitter. If you take shots, and we like him. If you take shots at him, Elon doesn't have to say anything. We're going to come after you. We're going to criticize the stupidity of whatever you say. And he says, is there anything more pro-free speech than a good faith informed public debate? You're not in good faith. MSNBC is not in good faith. MSNBC has demonstrated for years that it's not in good faith. Rather than take softball, who do you think is more moderate? TED Talks or MSNBC? Look at this guy's thing. Why, rather than take softballs on the TED stage? First of all, most of that conversation was not about Twitter. Elon doesn't particularly want to talk about Twitter. He wants to talk about Tesla, SpaceX, the Boring Company, Neuralink. What did you think about what he said about philanthropy, Mehdi? You didn't listen to any of you. This guy probably didn't even listen to the TED Talk, the TED interview. He didn't listen. He's never listened to anything Elon said. He reads his sources, his MSNBC, NBC, CNN sources, and whatever. He doesn't care what Elon. None of these people actually care what Elon. I just want to be clear. The whole point of what I'm doing, and I've got a lot more, is the endless list of attacks on Elon from the left, from mainstream and left-wing Democrats, and more mainstream Democrats than left-wing Democrats. What I'm trying to show you, I'm leaving out Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Robert Reich, the Squad. I'm not including them because you're going to say, oh, those are the left-wing Democrats. No, this is the mainstream of the party that is bashing Elon relentlessly. This is a tear. This is an insane tear. Max Burns says Elon Musk is taking advantage of the same business media weakness that elevated Donald Trump. A love of flashy leader-centric companies coupled with generally superficial due diligence to whether claims are actually true. He thinks the media is on Elon's side? And who is this guy? Democrat strategist and founder, Third Degree Strategy. He was with Young Turks, The Hill, NBC News. This is a mainstream Democrat. It's on NBC News. He's on The Hill. This is a mainstream Democrat, and he's attacking Elon, equating Elon to Donald Trump, and pretending that the media is on Elon's side. What media is on Elon? Other than maybe Fox News, what media is on Elon's side? This is absurd. And Elon isn't elevated by the same media that elevated Donald Trump. He's building cars. He's launching rockets into space. He's trying to cure brain disease. He's building tunnels. He's doing all kinds of cool stuff. Like, do any of you idiots in the Democratic machinery? I want to be clear again. This is not Democrat voters. This is the Democratic Party machine and its media arm. Okay? Do any of you idiots pay any attention to what he's doing? Saving the government money on rocket launches, and you accuse him of taking government money? Building. Do you care about climate change or not? I just don't get it. What do you care about? Here's what you're revealing. Here's what the Democratic Party is revealing. They do not care about climate change. The climate change thing was a massive lie. It's a massive lie from the Democratic Party. I'm not saying whether climate change is a massive lie or not. The Democratic Party's claim that they care about climate change is a massive lie. It has always been a massive lie, and it is now ultimately revealed. The one man on the planet who's doing more about climate change than anyone else, and they are attacking him relentlessly because they care more about their power than they care about their fake pretend care about climate change. Okay? New York Times, the Democratic Party newspaper. Okay? Don't pretend they got Republicans. It's the Democratic Party newspaper accusing Elon of somehow being responsible for apartheid. It's like, what are you doing? Somehow Elon, because he was born in South Africa, is responsible for apartheid. Mind-blowing. The extent of the insanity is just mind-blowing. Amy Siskind, I think she's NPR. Of course, she's got the white check mark. She's got I think that's an LGBT. Tesla has a spectacular record as an employer for LGBTQ+. 7 years in a row, 100 rating from the organization that rates companies for how they treat lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, etc., queer employees. Spectacular record. This is the whole point. It doesn't matter how good you are on the things they say they care about. They will come after you. They will attack you. Amy Siskind is not far left. Okay? Amy Siskind is a mainstream Democrat, and she's speaking with glee over the drop in the stock market. Tesla isn't the only company that's losing market value. The entire stock market's crashing, and these idiots are cheering it on. They're cheering it on. This is crazy. Strauss, who is this guy? Mark Strauss is another. I don't think I saved who this guy is. Now he's talking about Holocaust. He's comparing Elon to a Holocaust denier. He's comparing Elon to a Holocaust denier, or he's saying Elon's embracing Holocaust, doing the equivalent of embracing Holocaust deniers. This is nuts. This is nuts. Okay. So I'm not looking at the chat yet. I see there's a whole bunch of stuff in the chat. I'm not addressing the chat yet. I've still got some stuff to go through. Kaivan, this is a 3 or 4 tweet thread. Oh, I think I put up his. This is Kaivan over here. 110,000 followers, proud Democrat, political science, Brown University, joined in 2014, New York, D.C., Cambridge, of course. Of course. Nonprofit advisor, MBA from Yale. I mean, he's got all the liberal, characteristics. Elon has a history of not following through, really. Really, he has a history of not following through. Have you seen an orbital rocket booster land? Have you seen how many Teslas? They delivered over almost 1 million Teslas last year. They delivered the 500,000 he said they'd deliver in 20. It's just mind-blowing. Crazy. Okay. Musk said an attack on Elon over the Thai cave thing. That's one of them. Then look at this list of attacks. Criticizing Elon for delivering batteries to Puerto Rico during a natural disaster. What? And some made-up story about how the technology he's provided is now in disrepair and not functioning properly. Totally made-up story. Said he was going to produce special bricks that could be used to build affordable housing. Yeah, you're right. It never happened. He never said that. He said the Boring Company is working on developing bricks. The Boring Company hasn't made a lot of progress yet. They're working on it. One of the plans is, in the appropriate circumstances, they can make bricks. I don't think he specifically mentioned affordable housing. Affordable housing, by the way, affordable housing is a term connoted by federal regulations. If you said low-cost housing, that might be, maybe that was the goal. Just said they might sell bricks. That's all he did. I don't remember him ever talking about affordable housing. This guy's making stuff up. This is a partisan, proud Democrat, okay? Musk promised ventilators for COVID. Hospitals said they never got them. Not true. Hospitals were very happy with what they received from Elon. Making stuff up, lying. Said he would donate $6 billion to the UN World Food Program to fight world hunger. That's not what he said. He said, if you're transparent and you open your books and you show us where the money's going, then I'll give you $6 billion. And they didn't open their books. Musk said his company, Neuralink, would implant brain chips in humans in 2020. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He never said they would do it in 2020. They've been working on it. They've been working on trials. The experiment was a disaster. He did not accomplish this. What are you talking about? They're about to start human trials. They've got an application in for human trials. Neuralink, they demonstrated Neuralink in pigs and monkeys. It's making progress. It's great stuff. He's trying to cure brain disease. You're hating on someone who's trying to cure brain disease and restore movement to paralyzed people. This is how evil the Democratic Party has become. Okay, the Democratic Party machine and their operatives. Okay, the machine and their operatives. This is how evil they become. Someone says he's trying to cure brain disease and actually makes progress on it, and they lie about it and they attack him. Okay, I'm still going. I got more. Okay, told workers it was okay to stay home during COVID in 2020. Several employees who did so were fired. Lie. Lie. Another lie. No evidence he followed through on the pledge to help homes in Flint. Yeah, they delivered water to Flint. He did more to provide clean water in Flint, Michigan than the Democratic Party did or the federal government did. Lies, 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 lies. And then, oh, look, Like Trump, he's learned how easy it is to manipulate the media and never be held accountable. No. No, nice try. Again, that's the same lie that you saw. This is a coordinated strategy of attacking Elon any way you can. Say everything bad you can about him, and it's a coordinated strategy. Hang on a second. Let's. Pavlovitz, John Pavlovitz. I got two from this guy, John Pavlovitz. This is another lefty. You can see the top, a former friend who was full on MAGA. Okay, so a former friend full on MAGA said our friendship is worth more than politics. I disagree. This is a guy who stopped being friends with someone who supports Trump. Okay, because he's now against vaccines, voting rights, immigrants, LGBTQS. Who's against LGBTQS? Elon's not against LGBTQS. Trump's not against LGBTQS. Trump said Caitlyn Jenner could use whatever bathroom she wanted in the Trump building. Where do you get that Trump's against LGBTQS? Trump's not against immigrants. He's against illegal immigrants. I'm personally an open borders guy. The Democrats aren't really open borders. But Trump celebrates legal immigrants. And the whole Republican story is they supposedly celebrate legal immigrants and they're critical of illegal immigrants. I don't agree with the Republicans on that. It's not against vaccines. Trump delivered the vaccine. I'm critical of the vaccines. Trump supported the vaccine. DeSantis supported the vaccine. The Democrats were against the vaccine when Trump was president. As soon as Trump wasn't president anymore, all of a sudden they liked vaccines. Kamala Harris said she wouldn't take a Trump vaccine. It's the Trump vaccine. And they took it. And they told other people to take it. And they tried to mandate it. I wish you realized how good life could be for you. He's attacking Republicans. And so this is a guy, I just wanted to be clear. He's attacking Republicans. Okay? And here's this. So he's another big-time Democrat. I forget how big his following is. He's a white checkmark, big following. And going after Elon, I heard most guys going through midlife crisis just grow facial hair, get a tattoo. Maybe you could do that instead of using this platform to troll decent people and defend a guy who tried to overthrow democracy using the highest office of the nation. So first of all, Elon has never defended Trump. He doesn't defend Trump. There's this myth out here that Elon said he doesn't think Trump should be the candidate. He thinks that Trump was too divisive. Where do you get that Elon is defending Donald Trump? I'm not even getting into the lie about trying to overthrow democracy. I don't even get into that conversation. But, midlife crisis. What is this? This snarky, pseudo intellectual, pseudo intelligent sniping at somebody. Elon doesn't use the platform to troll decent. Who are the decent people that he's trolling? Elon uses the platform to communicate about Tesla, to communicate about SpaceX, communicate about what he's doing, and yeah, every once in a while he posts a meme and he makes fun of people. And honestly, Joe Biden deserves it. When he goes after Joe Biden, he has it coming. Bernie has it coming. Where are you? And I'm going to get to this point. I want to say it right now. Where are the good Democrats? Where are the Democrats who are supporting Elon? Where are the Democrats who are criticizing this kind of crap? Where are the Democrats who are criticizing Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Robert Reich, the squad for attacking Elon? Where are the Democrats who appreciate Elon, what he's doing on climate change, what he's doing with SpaceX, what he's doing with Neuralink, what he's doing with the Boring Company? Where are they? I mean, you can go on my channel, you can see I interviewed the Fort Lauderdale mayor, who is a progressive Democrat, who is excited about the Boring Company potentially doing a project in Miami. And I tagged him on a tweet, said, are you going to stand up for Elon? I don't see him. Is he going to stand up for Elon? No. No, because he's more loyal to the Democratic Party than he is to his own city. Richard Signorelli says, I will never buy a Tesla car when I go electric. I don't buy products from bad people like Elon Musk. Richard Signorelli, former assistant prosecutor, okay? Harvard Law, resist. This is the comical thing. So first you see he's tweeting, he mentions Black Lives Matter, resist, all that stuff. Look at his ass covering. Tweets do not equal legal advice. Tweets are opinion only. Retweets and likes do not equal agree. Accused or presumed innocent. Is Elon presumed innocent, by the way? But, I've never seen this much ass covering on a profile. I will never. When I go electric, so this guy admits that he's driving a gasoline car now. He is polluting. He is proudly polluting. He is proudly emitting fossil fuel emissions and criticizing the guy who's delivering stuff. And where is Elon a bad person? This war on Elon is just shocking. The damage that Elon Musk has recently done to his own reputation as well as the Tesla brand is incalculable. Yeah, his Twitter following has grown by 10 million. What are you talking about? And oh, the brand, the damage to the brand. The brand is in such trouble. Many Tesla models are now sold out until 2023 in the US. Elon Musk, Tesla might stop taking orders on some vehicles because the backlog is so long. There's so much bashing of Elon. There was this Twitter space. Why did Elon Musk want Twitter? Is it to get Trump reelected? Does anybody, like, they never listen to what he says. He thinks the platform can be better. He thinks the platform can do more for its shareholders, and he thinks the platform could actually support free speech. Never once has he said, I want Trump reelected. I want Trump. He actually specifically said he didn't think Trump should be the candidate in 2024. They don't listen to anything he actually says. They make up shit about him, and they talk trash about him, and that's it. That's it. So that's the stuff I wanted to talk about. So we're going to talk about this first. I'm going to go into the chat, but I just want to be clear. If you are a Democrat, you lean Democrat, and you think that I'm being unfair to the Democratic Party, here's what I want you to do. I want you to show me in a comment on the video, not in the chat, because the chat, I'm probably not going to catch it. I'll look in the chat as well, but please put it in the comment on the video. Or tweet to me, WR4NYGov. Tweet it to me, tag me in a tweet. Show me where a prominent national Democrat, even a statewide Democrat, is saying good things about Elon Musk in the last week, in the last month, where they're calling out the lies. The Democratic Party machinery is pumping an endless stream of lies about Elon out through its arms, through its activists, through everything else. They are attacking Elon. Show me where a prominent Democrat is criticizing Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Robert Reich, Joe Biden in the EV summit. Show me, and on all this stream of stuff I just showed you, show me where one prominent Democrat is standing up and defending Elon. Just one. I'd like to see more than one. I'd like to see 5 or 10. Don't give me Andrew Yang, because Andrew Yang's in the Forward Party now. A Democrat, an out there, a plain, strong, confident Democrat. And don't give me Joe Manchin, because you guys hate Joe Manchin now. I don't even know where Joe Manchin is on it. So let's see. Elon endorsed Andrew Yang. I don't remember if he specifically endorsed Andrew Yang, but he seemed to like him. I'm just looking in the chat now to see. Warren, you should consider a political show podcast. You have a seriously level-headed way of thinking. Okay, so just to be clear, I have a channel called The Daily Lie. Okay, and it's on locals.com. It's warrenredlick.locals.com. If you are watching this and you like this, please go to warrenredlick.locals.com. I'm going to do another live stream later today following on this experience on that platform. It will be free. That platform has supporters, and supporters can comment in the live stream chat, and supporters can comment on the posts. And I would appreciate your support there. You can support this channel as a YouTube channel member. You can support this channel on Patreon. Links to everything in the description below. Links to Locals is in the description below. But I just want to be clear. I do have a political channel. I mean, I talk about Tesla stuff as well, but that's the channel where I talk about politics, because most likely this video will be demonetized by YouTube, and I mostly do my live stream videos there. My live streams, for some reason, get demonetized by YouTube. It's happened a bunch of times. Last live stream did not get demonetized, so I'm giving this a shot today. So yeah, the good Jim Whitehead is one of the moderators on the channel, says the good Democrats seem to have gone silent. Are they scared of the far left? Are their cojones missing? I don't know. I mean, where are the pro-Elon Democrats? If you're going to tell me that the Democratic Party is not at war with Elon, show me one meaningful Democrat who says something different. And no, Bill Gates doesn't count. Tesla Cylon says, Biden is horrible as president, but don't let that skew your mind into thinking Trump was okay. Who said Trump was okay? Where did I say Trump was okay? I didn't say Trump was okay. I hated Trump before any of you did. I'm an upstate New Yorker. I don't like loudmouth New York City people. Trump was allied with Roger Stone. I hate Roger Stone. I sued Roger Stone. I sued Trump people during the 2016 election. I was getting bad press for Trump during the 2016 election, suing them for defaming me. I'm not a, why do people think I'm a Trump supporter? I'm a libertarian. I voted for Gary Johnson. I voted for Joe Jorgensen. I don't vote for Republicans or Democrats in general. If Ron DeSantis runs, I will probably vote for Ron DeSantis. Because Ron DeSantis, I'm very, very pleased with my vote for Ron DeSantis. He made Florida livable. Make America livable again, okay? Andrew Cuomo screwed New York so badly. If you don't know, I was the libertarian candidate for governor of New York in 2010 against Andrew Cuomo and 5 other idiots. And Cuomo won. I'm from New York. Cuomo ruined New York. Cuomo killed at least 10,000 people in his stupid policies. So So I want to say that, so there's two things for if you're a Democrat watching this and you still want to support the Democratic Party, you have two choices. One, show me where the Democrats are meaningfully supporting the one guy who's doing something about climate change and the one guy who's saving. I mean, look, you want to launch rockets to space and you can't use Russian rockets anymore. How are you going to do it? SpaceX. The only way. Right? He's allowing the United States government to continue launching rockets into space, to launch humans to the space station. We don't need the Russians anymore because of Elon. You're saying Putin's a bad guy. I don't know what you want. So I am not saying Trump. I didn't like Trump. I was critical of Trump. So let's see. Please don't use bad language, Lito. Please don't swear in the chat. Trump didn't raise the corporate tax during the round market. I'm not a fan of Trump. I think Trump was corrupt. I think Trump did some bad things. I think he didn't do enough. I think Biden's making him look better, but... Oh, so Simon says, I don't think it's coordinated. They have a transmissible brain disease. No, I think there's some degree of coordination. There's too much similarities. They're using the same messages over and over again. There is a coordination going on here. There is a coordinated attack on Elon. It is not, I can see the argument that it's just random, but where, if it's not coordinated, where are the Democrats standing up for Elon? Where are the Democrats calling out these lies? So, choice number two is, if you can't show me a national or statewide Democrat or prominent Democrat who's defending Elon, criticizing the Biden, where's the Democrats criticizing Biden for leaving Tesla out of the EV summit? So choice number one is, show me that I'm wrong, that there are, because I want to be less wrong t-shirt at elonbits.com. Show me that I'm wrong. Or start communicating with your Democratic representatives. Start communicating with your members of Congress, your state representatives, your state senators, your U.S. senators. Communicate with the Biden administration. If you are a partisan Democrat, you are a faithful of the party, then start calling them out. You, not me. You start calling them out. You start criticizing them for attacks on Elon. You start calling their office and saying, hey, you got to speak up and defend Elon. Take the ones doesn't have to, I realize not everybody has friends in the Democratic Party, leadership. But if you are, I got a lot of people watching this video, right? I have 65,000 subscribers on my channel, and some of you are Democrats, and some of you are connected. Use your connections, reach out to the people you know. I have connections. I reached out to the people I know. They won't talk. They won't talk. I asked Maria Sachs. I asked Bob Weinroth. I asked Tina Polsky. I asked Nikki Fried to speak up and defend. I think Nikki Fried's one of the ones attacking Elon. I asked them, hey, what are you doing? Speak up and defend Elon. I asked the mayor of Fort Lauderdale, Dean Trantalis. I reached out to him. Tagged them all on Twitter on a tweet. Hey, you guys got to speak up and defend Elon. They're gone silent. You're never getting my vote again. Never. If you do not stand up for Elon, if you do not stand up for, you pretend you care about climate change, if you do not stand up for the one guy doing more about climate change than anyone else on the planet, you will never get my vote again. I will never vote for a Democrat again. As long as this absolute war on Elon continues, until there are apologies, until you make people resign, until I see accountability from the Democrats holding the liars accountable, holding these attackers accountable. Until I see that, I will never vote for a Democrat again. I'm going to struggle. I'm going to pull my nose and vote for some Republicans. I'm mostly going to vote Libertarian, but I will never vote for a Democrat again. This is unforgivable. You have to get leading Democrats to stand up and say this is wrong. This is completely unacceptable. The absolute baseless lies, the insane lies, these attacks on Elon's character. Look, let's be clear. I am an Elon Musk fan. Be less wrong is an Elon quote. Right? This is an Elon Musk fanboy channel. Okay? I mostly avoid politics on this channel on YouTube. I have my political channel over there. I talk about libertarian stuff. I criticize Democrats and Republicans. I've got plenty of criticism of the Republican Party. Okay? I talk about a bunch of different issues on there. I have Republicans mad at me. I get Democrats mad at me on my channel, on the Daily Lie. Right? But this is This is absolutely disgusting. I am really, really angry. It's not obvious. I'm really angry. I do not understand how anybody can support this. If you have anything close to an open mind and you look at what Elon Musk is doing, and you support this kind of attack, not just if you support this kind of attack, if you don't stand up and say no, If you don't stand up and say, wait a minute, stop attacking Elon. I'm a Democrat and I like Elon. I think Elon's doing good stuff. Get on Twitter, speak up. Get on Facebook, speak up. Get on Instagram, I don't care what platform, get up and say, listen, I don't like what the Republicans are doing on abortion, but Elon Musk is a great human, and I'm really angry about the Democrats attacking Elon. This has to stop, right? I don't like the Republicans on LGBTQ, whatever you want to, whatever your other issues are, speak up. Say, listen, these issues are really important to me. I'm not happy with the Republicans on this, but I'm really angry at the Democrats for attacking Elon. Speak up. Stop letting them bash Elon relentlessly, unanswered in your Democratic Party circles, right? You have a group of Democrat friends and all, then risk your friendships to speak on behalf of the guy doing something about, like, I would literally take a bullet for Elon. What Elon is doing is more important for the future of my children than anything I'm doing, right? With brain disease, with the tunnels, with going to Mars, with Tesla, solving sustainable energy. Elon is doing more for the planet than more for my children. Just for what he's doing more for my children than I am. Also, I have a $2 million life insurance policy, so my kids will get that. But my ex-wife will get it, and I'm confident she'll take care of my kids with it. But seriously, like, I will throw myself in front of anything for Elon. I am a true believer. You believe in Elon or you don't. This is it. This is where you got to throw down. You either support Elon or you don't. Don't half-ass it. I don't know where to go with this. Let's see. Ranked choice voting, not party. Okay, I saw a lot of comments, people talking about, it's our political system is wrong. We're not going to change our political system. The political system we have favors having two parties. Both parties suck. It's built into the system. It's the way the system is designed, unfortunately. It's not how it was intended when it was designed, but it's the natural result of the system we have. The two parties have too much power. We're not going to change it. And if we did change it, any political system has problems. There is no perfect political system. Look up Kenneth Arrow, The Impossibility Theorem on Wikipedia. His book was Social Choice and Individual Values, won the Nobel Prize for proving that there is no perfect political system. All political systems are fundamentally flawed. You can't get there. There's no good way of aggregating individual preferences to form coherent policy. It just doesn't work. Brit says, we voted the politicians in. Let's fix it by getting better people elected. Listen, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying if you are a Democrat and you are partisan and you are passionate, then go to the Democrats that you know. First of all, speak up yourself. If you're being silent, stop being silent. Speak up on Twitter, Facebook, wherever. Start defending Elon. Start supporting Elon. If you see somebody criticizing Elon, fight back. Don't let it go unpunished. If somebody is going to lie about Elon, don't let that go unpunished. You got to speak up. It's on you now. Elon has taken all kinds of hits for us, right? I'm practically having a Jesus moment here. Elon is basically throwing himself in front of the bus for us. He's taken all kinds of slings and arrows, and he's doing it to make the world a better place. You either believe that, or if you don't believe that, then I don't know why you watch this channel. If you don't believe that Elon is genuinely trying to make the world a better place, then I don't know why you watch this channel. Elon is committed to making the world a better place. He wants to save humanity. He wants to spread the light of consciousness throughout the star system and beyond the star of the galaxy. He has done so much good, and he has been relentlessly attacked for it. If you can't take some friend of yours being mad at you for speaking up, then what are you doing? When are you going to step up? When are you going to stand up and fight for Elon? When are you going to stand up and fight for something? Right? This is absurd. Basically, Elon is basically the second coming of Jesus and Muhammad. Oh, I think Elon's way better than Jesus and Muhammad. Thank you, Ralph, for your support. The founders feared the two-party duopoly would create chaos. John Adams was the two-party system. I think Washington spoke about not forming political parties in the farewell address to the nation. It didn't happen the way he said. He also talked about avoid entangling foreign alliances. We're totally entangled in foreign alliances. I'm not even getting into other issues where I disagree with the Democratic Party, and I frankly disagree with the Republican Party on a lot of issues too. I'm not even getting into that. This is about Elon. Lido says, I have no friends other than my wife because I'm an outcast, Warren, and Warren and Elon needs to call out their anti-Semitism against him. Anti-Semitism against who? Who's anti-Semitic against who? Stumptle says, when the Dems were caught and exposed cheating in elections, the DNC should have been abolished from American politics. They certainly cheated Bernie Sanders, just like the Republicans cheated Ron Paul. By the way, they cheated Bernie Sanders. The parties are dirty. There's an author named Peter Schweizer. Go on Amazon, look for his book Extortion. He's got several books. Some of his books are look for his book Secret Empire. Some of his books are partisan for the Republicans and critical of Democrats. But some of his, like Clinton Cash, is very critical to Clintons. But some of his books are bipartisan. And Extortion is a brilliant book. And Secret Empires criticizes Trump. Okay, criticizes both sides. So check out Peter Schweizer if you want to see how corrupt politics is. Let's see. I'm just looking at the chat. I'm going to move on in a second. Tesla bot for POTUS 2014 wouldn't work for bot. Am I an Elon stan? Sure, I'm an Elon stan. All right, so let me move on. Oh, thank you, Mundo Facundo. 8 reasons. Elon, not an LED. Mary, you led. Right. Mary led. Okay, so let me move. I'm gonna move on. I got a couple other things I want to cover, and I'll come back to the chat. Just what for those who are watching this don't know what I normally do. I normally talk about Tesla, SpaceX, Boring Company, and Neuralink, and I want to do a little bit of Tesla news. So Giga Shanghai produced almost 11,000 cars in April, working in just one shift after 3 weeks of downtime. So Giga Shanghai is highly productive. It's been delayed by Chinese lockdowns related to the medical issues they're having in that country, and I don't want to get into that topic too much, but Giga Shanghai is extremely productive, and once they get going full steam, Giga Shanghai is going to be producing at gangbusters rates. And Elon said the Tesla China team's amazing. FSD beta news, for those who don't know, Tesla has self-driving cars. I drive the latest FSD beta 10.11.2. I drove it today. I drive it on a daily basis. So version 10.12 is coming shortly. Elon earlier said probably this weekend. It's this weekend and it's not here yet. This is very typical for Elon. If anybody wants to know what the real criticism of Elon is, he says something happens. It never happens when he says it's going to, almost never happens when he says it's going to happen. So Elon says, make this visible. Let me make this more visible. The release notes on the release notes. So there's a new version coming, hopefully this week. And it's going to be a bunch of changes. It's going to be a lot better. Elon's been talking about it for a while. And he says release notes on this version will be long. When a new version of FSD beta comes, you sit in your car if you have it, and there's release notes saying what they've done to improve the software. So this is going to be exciting. There's going to be a lot of videos. I'll be making a video about it. As soon as I get the release notes, I'll be making a video about that. Very excited. 10.12 will include the new maximum speed increase on autopilot. So I drive the FSD beta. It's capped at 80 miles per hour. There are a lot of places in the country, like West Texas, where the speed limit is 80 miles an hour. So limiting the speed to 80 miles an hour means you're basically impeding traffic because people drive 90 when the speed limit's 80. I frequently drive 85 in Florida at 75 mile an hour speed limits, and I can't drive FSD beta in places where the speed limit is 70 miles an hour because I'm going to go 85 or 75 miles, whatever the speed limit is. I often go 85 miles an hour, and I can't go 85 in FSD beta. So I turn it up. Now, FSD beta isn't really interstate highways. That's really autopilot, whatever. You can't go over 80 miles an hour in autopilot either. So that will change. Hopefully that's happening shortly. And, you're worried about me driving 85 miles an hour. There's people whizzing by me when I'm going 80. Any love with FSD beta 10.12 release? Elon, this is very recent. This was today. Team is working the weekend to get 10.12 in limited release tomorrow, which would be Monday, I assume. Then we evaluate, do a point update, broaden the release. 10.12.2 is probably where it can expand to a safety score. This is expanding to a larger safety score, means allowing more people to have access to FSD beta. Right now, it's about 100,000 people worldwide have FSD beta. For a long time, it was 10,000 people or 1,000 people or something like that. I'm one of the early ones because I bought it from somebody who was one of the early ones. So that's FSD beta news. Little quick Mars update. Some science Twitter account was talking about producing rocket fuel on Mars using algae and E. coli, and Elon said, we don't need that. We're going to use the Sabatier reaction. That's where they use electricity from solar. They use water ice from Mars, and they use CO2 from the atmosphere on Mars. It's a thin atmosphere, but there's some, and they'll be able to produce methalox, methane and liquid oxygen, using the Sabatier process. And that's the plan. That's why Starship is a methane-based rocket instead of RP-1 rocket. Starlink update. Little bit more information about where Starlink is available. I'm pretty annoyed that Starlink is available in the Everglades where no one lives, but it's not available where I live or where I have my apocalypse cabin. But it's coming, and hopefully I will get my Starlink satellite dish soon. I'm going to drive around the country. It'd be nice to have Starlink with me. Not sure whether I'm going to take it or not. I probably will. Then Starlink, they're criticizing Elon and they're claiming sometimes they say that Elon's tied to Putin. Elon he challenged Putin to a fight. He supplied Starlinks to help the Ukrainians resist Russian cyber war, to allow the Ukrainians to communicate. Russia's engaged in cyber attacks against Starlink. It's not working so far, but they're working on it. And then Rogozin, who's a leading Russian official, sent a threat against Elon to the Russian media. This is why I think Elon should not have shipped Starlinks to the Ukraine. Like, no one appreciates what you're doing. Right? I mean, the Republicans appreciate you anyway. I suppose there's a humanitarian reason for doing it. But you're basically stepping into a war. And I don't think that's an appropriate place, but I generally love everything Elon does. I'm not like mad at him or anything. I just don't think that was the best thing. I do want to mention really quick, by the way, sorry. Somebody sent me this Cybertruck refrigerator magnet and bottle opener. It's like a refrigerator magnet and bottle opener. And I haven't used it yet, but I just want to mention it. It's yourbottleopener.com. Just real quick thank you to that guy. There's Critical Enthusiasm on the back. That's a sub name for my channel. I don't know if you can see Critical Enthusiasm. Yeah. Anyway, pretty cool. So, again, t-shirts, Be Less Wrong, Tesla Nair, Tesla's the Next Tesla t-shirts at elonbits.com. Let me go back into the chat here. Let's see. I just won a $20,000 self-driving full autonomous Tesla. That's endgame for me. I don't think you're going to see a $20,000 Tesla ever. My thoughts about the F-150 Lightning. The F-150 Lightning is too heavy, impractical, and they won't be able to produce it in volume, and they're going to lose money on every one they sell. It's too expensive. The size of the battery pack, the size of the vehicle, the amount of parts they got to put into it, the manufacturing, they're going to lose money on every F-150 Lightning they sell. Or they're going to have to raise the price to the point where people won't buy them. So, I mean, maybe there's some room for it somewhere, but I don't think it's going to be successful. Let's see. Elon looked too heavy in his Tim Dodd interview at SpaceX. What is he eating? I think Elon's fine. People worry about Elon. Maybe he was wearing a bulletproof vest. You don't know. I wonder what it feels like to be one of those scumbags who bullied Elon in school. I think sometimes doing the noble and heroic thing is not always the most pragmatic thing. Agree with you regarding Elon shipping Starlink, but he stayed and shown he'll do the right thing. Consequences be damned. Yeah, I'm just not sure it was the right thing. I'm not sure it was the wrong thing. I'm not sure it was the right thing. I don't know who's the right side there, and I don't know if Elon... I just don't think he should have stepped into that. If the U.S. government wanted to buy Starlinks from Elon and ship them in themselves and not have Elon be the public face of the operation, I suppose that would have been better. I'm not comfortable with it. I think that was risky. Let's see. Elon is tied to Putin would be the one good thing Putin is doing for the environment. Exactly. Elon needs a Tesla bot army to protect himself. I'm pretty sure that Elon has a really good security team. I think Elon's security team is so good you don't see it. That's the hallmark of a really, really good security team is you almost never see them, but they're there. You almost never see. I don't think I've ever seen a security team, but I know they're there. Let's see. Tesla $3 trillion market cap by 2025. That's bearish. Tesla's going to have a $3 trillion market cap by next year. Maybe this year. Not this year, probably, but maybe next year. I just beg God Elon doesn't end up like Lennon. Yeah, a lot of concerns about Elon's security. I'm confident Elon has good security. Let's a couple of things here. Number one, I'm very confident Elon has a good security team. Number two, if you're an investor in Tesla, Tesla has a great team. I'm confident they have great plans for how they're going to handle things. You call it key man risk. It's a big company. They have a board. They've made plans to deal with it. They have a great, great team. I've met Drew Baglino. I've met Martin Vieca. I've met Franz von Holzhausen. I've met a lot of people and lower on the Tesla team, fairly high-level people on the Tesla team. They have great people who know what they're doing. Just talk to battery engineers at Cyber Rodeo. I talked to some other engineers at Cyber Rodeo. Motivated people who believe in the mission, and they are well past the point where they need Elon to succeed. Elon's an accelerator. They'll do better with him, but they'll be okay. SpaceX dominating the global launch industry. He's an accelerator. He makes it better, but don't panic. And he's fine. He's got a spectacular security team. Justin asks, how's the pod car coming along? I had a meeting yesterday with a guy who builds custom vehicles, including custom EVs, up near Canaveral. I'm talking to another guy who might want to work with me to build the pod car prototype. And then I met with some guys last week who are supposed to submit a proposal to me to build the pod car prototype. So I hopefully will have a pod car prototype this summer. I think spring's almost over. So by the end of the summer, hopefully we'll have a pod car prototype. and then we'll move from there. Pod Car, for those who don't know, it's a single passenger electric vehicle plan I have. Start up a company to build single passenger electric vehicles that will be hyper efficient. My Tesla gets 4 or 5 miles per kilowatt hour, 3 if I go fast. I think we can design a single passenger electric vehicle, much smaller frontal surface area, much more lower coefficient of drag because of this crazy design, no doors and windows. It's a clamshell, so the top will be lightweight, the whole vehicle will be lightweight, it'll be very aerodynamic, and I think we can maybe get to 20 miles per kilowatt hour. That may be optimistic, but I think it's doable. At least shoot for 20 miles per kilowatt hour. If we fall a little short, we did well. Make it very inexpensive, not making a high-end vehicle that's going to cost a lot of money. Make something that's inexpensive so that we can deliver rides in a robo-taxi network that's ultimately designed to be self-driving. Deliver rides in a robo-taxi network at very low cost. Much lower cost than what Tesla's talking about, what Mark Invest talks about with them. Josh Runge says, Warren, I ordered my Y today with full self-driving. Congratulations, thank you. I think with ordering full self-driving, you get it delivered sooner, too. FSD beta is only Canada and USA so far. Yes, it's going to be a while before it's extended beyond US and Canada. I don't know where's next. What about Twitter fiasco? Musk is dragging down both companies fast. What's going on with Twitter? First of all, Twitter is having problems because Twitter has problems, and Elon's going to save Twitter. And Tesla's not having problems. Tesla's doing fantastic. Tesla's growing spectacularly. Tesla's doing wonderful. The fact that there's a shutdown in China that's slowing the production at the Giga Shanghai has nothing to do with Twitter. The stock price is down because the stock market's down, and maybe because Shanghai's slowed down, and maybe because the Democrats are at war with Tesla and war with Elon. The Wiccans at Ridgeland Correctional sued. I don't know what that is. Is the lockdown lifted in Shanghai? As far as I know, there's still issues in Shanghai. I don't think the lockdown is fully lifted in Shanghai, but I'm not sure. I think Giga Shanghai is producing. I don't know whether they're at full bore yet. How much more efficient will Gigacasting 4680s make Austin and Berlin? Watch Sandy Monroe did a video talking about how Tesla the Texas Gigafactory works. They make the batteries on the 4th floor. They assemble them into packs on the 3rd floor. They do some process where they age the packs on the 2nd floor, and then they drop the packs right down into the assembly line at just the right moment so to form the vehicle, and that becomes part of the structure. It's absolutely brilliant manufacturing, and who knows, the next generation factory will be even better. It's absolutely crazy. From what I've heard, Giga Shanghai already has 50% margins on most of the vehicles it sells, meaning they sell a vehicle for twice what it cost them to build it. They're making 50% profit per vehicle, gross profit. Giga Shanghai and Giga Texas and Giga Berlin should be even more efficient in manufacturing. Their labor costs are going to be higher, so I'm not sure if that's going to play against it, but their labor costs, their supply chain costs might be higher. But I think we're going to see even more efficient production out of Giga Texas and Giga Berlin than we've got in Shanghai, and Shanghai's amazing. Today, John Adams was against the two-party system. Sure, Democrats hate Elon because he exposes their hot air and laziness on their favorite issue, climate change. I would say this. What I see in the Democratic Party for a while now is they hate success. They hate when someone is successful and actually accomplishes something because they've been telling us they're going to do something about climate change for decades. And Elon comes along and actually does something about it instead of being happy that he's using the programs that they created, the incentive systems that they helped create. Instead of celebrating him doing what they wanted, they attack him. I don't know. Have I researched the number of Musk shares leveraged? I don't think he leveraged a significant amount of shares. No, I don't know. We haven't researched it. I just don't think it's significant. He owns like 20% of the company, which is, a lot. And don't forget he owns like half of SpaceX, which means he's got $50 billion from SpaceX. He's got probably most of Boring Company, which is now valued at like $6 billion. He's wealthy in a variety of ways. It's not just Tesla, and it's certainly not Twitter. Elon would tell you not to stand up for him, stand up for the truth, speak out when anyone... I'm standing up for the truth, which is that Elon is doing good things. If Elon wasn't doing good things, I wouldn't stand up for him. Is Elon the son of a Jewish mother, so that makes him Jewish, does it not? I have no idea whether his mother's Jewish. I don't know when I don't care. I'm Jewish and I don't care. I don't know why anybody would care why anybody thinks he might be Jewish. All right, let's see. Going back in the chat here. I've had the opportunity to look into lithium from the Salton Sea, California area. No, I haven't looked at that. I know that I just saw some, Common Sense Skeptic has some video trashing everything that Tesla's doing, and they have this fantasy that there isn't enough lithium in the world to supply the batteries that Elon wants to, the 300 terawatt hours of batteries Elon thinks we need. He's an idiot. There's a ridiculous amount of lithium in the world. Lithium is a very common element. It's everywhere. It takes effort to get it out, but it's there. It's not that hard to get it out. Yeah, so DRS Metal says Democrats' snubbing of Elon will backfire and they will regret it. I want to get back to this point, okay? As I said this earlier, I talked about Tesla news. I've been through the chat a little bit. I want to get back to the major point I wanted to make here at the beginning, which is if you support Elon Musk, if you go back and watch this video from the beginning, you're going to see that the Democratic Party, the whole Democratic Party machine, is at war with Elon. And I have seen zero examples of prominent Democrats, statewide, nationwide Democrats, standing up and saying that they support Elon and criticizing the people attacking him. I haven't seen it. So if you are a Democrat and you are a partisan Democrat and you support the Democratic Party, but you also support Elon, you got a choice to make. Are you going to say tough luck Elon, or are you going to stand for Elon? Not just standing for Elon, standing for what Elon is doing. Elon is doing good things. If you believe Elon is doing good things, if you believe he's fighting climate change, if you believe he's giving a lower cost access to space so that we can launch humans to the space station without relying on the Russians. Turns out that turned out to be really important. It turns out to have been a really important thing that he did. No one else did it. Elon did it. Jeff Bezos didn't do it. Richard Branson didn't do it. NASA didn't do it. SpaceX did it. With NASA's cooperation, but SpaceX made it happen. It's done a lot of good things. So if you are a Democrat, you identify as Democrat, you care about your party, then you got to stand up yourself. You got to speak out on social media. If you see a friend trashing Elon, you got to fight back. If you see political figures trashing Elon, you got to fight back, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Speak up. Say no. Elon's doing good things. Stop trashing Elon. You guys can do whatever you want about politics. Stop trashing Elon. And reach out to the people you know who are elected Democrats, who are Democratic Party officials, and say, this has to stop. This war on Elon has to stop. You guys have to stop. That Democratic Party officials, Democratic elected officials, have to stand up and defend Elon and criticize people attacking Elon. Because I want to be clear, I will never vote for a Democrat again. This is unforgivable. The unmitigated, relentless attack that has come from the Democratic Party, starting at the top with Joe Biden, the leader of the Democratic Party, starting with him and his EV summit, this ridiculous attack on Elon that is, headed by, this is a Democratic Party machine operation. Don't tell me this is just some leftists. This is a Democratic Party machine operation, and the supposedly good Democrats are remaining silent. It's not acceptable. No. You got to stand. And I reached out to Democrats I knew. I reached out to a state senator I know, whose daughter went to school with my daughter, lived in my neighborhood. I reached out to 2 county commissioners, one of whom was a state senator. I reached out to the mayor of Fort Lauderdale. I reached out, and I said, hey, you guys got to speak up. You guys got to defend Elon. Mayor of Fort Lauderdale is doing a boring company project with Elon. Has said positive things about Elon before. Now he's silent. You got to speak up. If you don't speak up, you're complicit. You are part of that party. And if you don't defend Elon, you are supporting the people. You are implicitly supporting the people who are attacking the one guy doing something about climate change. The one guy who gave us access to space. You either believe it or you don't. If you believe in Elon, if you believe in what Elon's doing, then you got to step up. He steps up for us. You got to step up for him. I've stepped up. I know a lot of people have stepped up. I lost a lot of friends over the last few years because I stand up for what I believe in. I say what I believe. And I've had friends. I mean, they're not really friends, frankly. If you can't let me speak about the things I want to speak about, and you can't disagree with me openly and honestly, then you're not really a friend. Right? I got banned from Facebook for saying what I think. And I'm still standing. I'm still doing well. I'm happy. I'm living life. I'm enjoying life. I'm doing well. I don't know what you're afraid of, but speak up. So We Want Freedom says they won't speak up. They are part of the hive mind. They will speak up if enough Democrats pressure them. This is the thing. Your one voice may not be enough, but you need to reach out to your friends. You need to find out other friends of yours who are Democrats. You need to go contact your congressman's office, contact your state representative's office, call them out. Say, hey, Elon's doing more about climate change than anybody else. You guys told us you cared about climate change. Elon's helping deliver astronauts to the space station. Without Elon, we wouldn't be able to get to the space station. You got to call them out. You got to speak up yourself. You got to persuade your friends, and you got to get yourself and your friends and other people that agree with you. You got to get your elected officials and your party officials, and you got to whip them in line. You got to say, hey, you guys got to start speaking up for Elon. You got to start criticizing the people attacking him. And it's not enough for a half-hearted, well, Elon's done some good things. No. You got to stand up and you got to criticize people. You got to call out the lies. They're lying about him like endless lies, endless stream of lies, endless stream of bashing. Comparing him to saying he's embracing Holocaust deniers, really? Really? Just absolute absurdity. Blaming him for apartheid? The freaking kid? Absurd. Yeah, Jim Whitehead says, I would ask them why they are silent. Why are the supposedly good Democrats silent? The good Germans. Why are they silent? You can't be silent in this. This is important. This matters. This matters. I just channeled Stephen Mark Ryan. This matters. This is really important. We need to do something about this. All politicians would fear, I don't feel represented box on the ballot. Yeah. America's attitude towards Elon Musk appears very strange from here in the UK. We would love to have him as one of us. So, no, let's be clear. America's attitude about Elon is very good. The vast majority of Americans either don't spend much time thinking about him. The people who do think about him, the majority love him. Teslas are selling like hotcakes. People watch SpaceX launches. There is this cadre in the Democratic Party, this machine of the Democratic Party that is spreading this hateful message about Elon, and it is reaching a lot of Democrats. All right? And so the question is, if they're only hearing from these voices in the Democratic Party and they're not hearing from you, and they're not hearing from others, if all they're hearing is these negative attacks from the New York Times and the Democratic Party operatives, and you stay silent, then you're letting the people who are in the Democratic Party who thought, wait a minute, I liked Elon, you're letting them be persuaded. You have an obligation to speak up to them. You have an obligation to argue with the person who's saying bad things. It's not that you're going to persuade the person saying bad things. It's that you're going to persuade the audience. That person is speaking to an audience, and you can step in and you can speak so that the audience hears another voice. They can hear your voice. Elon is doing more about climate change than anyone else. Elon is doing more about getting us to sustainable energy, sustainable transportation than anyone else. Elon is lowering the cost of access to space far more than anybody even dreamed. So much of this guy, he's trying to cure brain disease. He is trying to solve traffic issues. He is solving traffic issues. He's doing tremendous work. He's doing tremendous things. He works insanely hard. He does all of this to make the world a better place. And these people are lying about him. And it's time. It's time. I've had it. I do not accept people saying, well, it's only some Democrats. No, where are the good ones? Make them speak up. You be one of the good ones. You speak up. When you see somebody attacking Elon, when you see a Democrat attacking Elon, when you see the New York Times attacking Elon, when you see Robert Reich, when you see Elizabeth Warren, you see Bernie Sanders, when you see the squad, AOC, whatever, when you see Biden snubbing Elon, when Biden snubbed Elon for the EV summit, when he snubbed Tesla for the EV summit, did you stay silent? And you got to speak up publicly, and you got to reach out to your Democratic Party officials and the elected officials. If you don't do it, who will? And what do you have to lose? When are you going to stand up and do something that matters? I'm so beside myself. And let's be clear. Full disclosure. I am a raging Elon Musk fan. I am a Tesla investor. I'm actually more of a fan of SpaceX than I am of Tesla. I love Neuralink. I love the Boring Company. I'm a bigger fan of the Boring Company. I'm a bigger fan of the Boring Company. Even though I drive a Tesla, I have another Tesla on order, have a Cybertruck on order, I'm more a fan of the Boring Company, Neuralink, and SpaceX than I am of Tesla. Just Tesla's the one you can invest in publicly. I would quickly buy Boring Company shares or Neuralink shares if I had the chance. They're not publicly traded. Where are the good? So I want to be clear. When I'm criticizing Democrats, I'm criticizing the Democratic Party machine. I'm criticizing Democratic elected officials. I'm criticizing Democratic Party officials. I'm criticizing the media. I'm not criticizing Democrat voters, except if you are a Democrat voter and you don't stand up now, then you're supporting them. You're implicitly supporting what they're doing. Don't be distracted by the abortion issue, LGBTQ plus, Ukraine, blah, blah, blah. Elon's done more about Ukraine than the Democrats. He supplied them with Starlink. Mine more nickel. That's right. While you're at it, mine more nickel. Please mine more nickel, mine more lithium. Mine and refine more nickel and more lithium, please, while you're at it. I mean, He's trying to cure brain diseases. He's trying to restore the movement to people who are paralyzed. Like, people are not paying attention. There was this interview on TED. There was another interview recently. I forget what that was on. And they don't ask good questions. And Elon said something like, the current generation Neuralink has 1,000 electrodes, and the next generation, a future version of Neuralink will be many more orders of magnitude, or many orders of magnitude more electrodes. It's going to have like 10 million or 100 million electrodes in the brain. He's going to help paralyzed people walk again. He's going to help blind people see again. He's going to help deaf people with tinnitus, this ringing in the ear condition that affects a lot of people. He's going to help people with tinnitus. He's going to help people who can't sleep. And help people with mental health issues. There's so many ways that Neuralink is going to make the world a better place. And they attack him for that. They attack him for trying to cure brain disease. They attack him for trying to solve traffic problems. It's an endless stream of attacks, and it's time people spoke up. If you're a Republican, you got to speak up. If you're a Democrat, you got to speak up. If you're an independent, you got to speak up. If you don't, look, he has taken all these slings and arrows, all these attacks. Why is he doing that? Well, number one, I think he thinks it's funny to some extent, but also because he has a sense of humor about all this. But also, look, he sees what he thinks needs to be done to make the world a better place. And if you think making Twitter a free speech platform is the most dangerous thing in the history of the world, then you need some help. I was going to say something really crude. I'm not going to say it. You're in dangerous need of some help. If you think that Twitter being controlled by one billionaire instead of a different group of billionaires is a problem, if you think letting the bad orange man speak on the platform is all of a sudden going to destroy the world, if you think that the bad orange man is a greater threat to humanity than Putin, I don't know. I don't like the bad orange man. I'm not afraid of him being on Twitter. Speak up how, Martin Anderson says. Well, one, you can speak up on Twitter. You can speak up on Facebook. You can speak up on Instagram. You can speak up on TikTok, whatever social media you're on. You can send emails to your elected officials. You can send emails to your party officials. You can go in person to your elected officials' offices. You can mail letters to your elected officials. You can talk to your friends. You can talk to your neighbors. You can tell people how important Elon is and how important what Tesla is doing is and how important what SpaceX is doing is. You can do those things. Speak up. I can't put words in your mouth. I don't have like a script for you to read, right? You either believe in Elon or you don't. You believe in what Tesla's doing or you don't. You believe in what SpaceX, Neuralink, and Boring Company are doing or you don't. You believe in what they're doing, then speak up. You know what to say. Speak up in whatever venue you can. And not just speaking up to that audience, but speaking directly to elected officials, speaking directly to party officials saying, I don't like how you guys are attacking Elon Musk. Oh, I'm not attacking Elon Musk. Well, you're not saying anything about it and your party's attacking him. Oh, no, the party's not. Yes, it is. And you can show them this video, show them the start of this video where I went through all the Democrats who are attacking Elon, including Joe Biden, the leader of your party. Okay? You can show them, say, if you don't speak up, I will never vote for you again. I will tell all my friends not to vote for you again. It's not enough for you to say it's not me. You got to speak up. You got to educate yourself on what's going on here. You got to speak up. You got to speak to the people you're connected to, and you got to tell them to speak up. Because as long as the Democratic Party is at war with Elon Musk, I'm at war with the Democratic Party. I'm pro-choice, and I don't care. I'm at war with the Democratic Party because Elon's more important to me than the choice issue. Right? That's an important issue to me. I care about that issue. I'm pro-choice for totally different reasons. I don't think government should have that much power. The libertarian reason. Even libertarians disagree with me on this. I support gay marriage. As far as I can tell, the Republicans generally support gay marriage. I don't even know why people think this is an issue. Look, I don't think people who are born biologically male and transition to female should be allowed to compete in female sports. I guess that makes me a hater. I don't know. Yes, I was banned from Facebook too. So, we're on a wild one today. I still hope Elon's going to buy Twitter. It's just the thing that's going on with Twitter now, this fake followers thing. Did I leave that out? What did I do with that? Hang on. I think I have another. Oh, let me find that. Twitter fake users. So, I left this out earlier. I meant to include this. Elon's talking about there are a lot of fake accounts on Twitter, and there's a question about how many fake accounts there are on Twitter. So Twitter has been saying that less than 5% of the accounts are fake or bots or whatever. And it's very clearly more than like Zach says. Zach is Black Model 3. He's a big Tesla fan. He drives a black Tesla Model 3, a really good guy. And Zach says it's guaranteed it's 25% plus. If it turns out that that Twitter has been lying about how many of its users are true active users and how many are bots, then that will affect the price that affects the price that advertisers are willing to pay for advertising on Twitter, and that affects the value of Twitter. So Elon's going to use that to renegotiate Twitter's price. That's what that's about. Be clear. All right. Warren, what type of law did you practice and why did you leave? Good question. So technically I'm still a lawyer in New York. I retired as a Florida lawyer, and I'm trying to retire as a New York lawyer, and they won't let me. I was a criminal defense and personal injury lawyer, did a high volume of traffic tickets in New York, did a lot of personal injury jury trials for Allstate years ago, and some personal injury jury trials as a plaintiff's lawyer. I've done drunk driving trials, a lot of high volume of marijuana cases. Never handled a murder. Did handle a couple of death cases, but not murder cases. And why did I leave? I got old. I got tired. I think I got tired of the conflict. I used to thrive on the conflict. I got tired of the conflict. What's funny is I'm engaged in conflict on social media and on YouTube and everything. And people think, oh, what these people are saying mean things about you. And I think it's hilarious because I've been yelled at by judges who threatened to put me in jail. So some random troll says something mean to me on Twitter. I just think it's funny. Somebody says something mean to me in the comments on YouTube or in the chat. I just think it's funny. The conflict that we experience here is nothing like the conflict in a courtroom, where somebody might. I had a client who went to jail because we lost the case, and I believe he's innocent. That matters. That personal experience of being confronted with a difficult prosecutor and having that kind of conflict, and then my client actually going to jail, even though it was a close call, but I believe he's innocent, and he's tough and he handled it fine, but I didn't want him to go to jail. That's something that really matters. So criminal defense, personal injury, I defended personal injury cases. I sued personal injury cases. I briefly worked in a prosecutor's office one summer. Became very, very cynical about prosecutors after working in a prosecutor's office. So Legacy Auto thinks they'll outsell Tesla in 2025 because they don't believe Tesla's price points allow for 5 million plus in sales. Well, first of all, Tesla can deliver vehicles for much less than they're selling them for. They just need to produce them in volume. So Model Y is probably costing Tesla less than, in Giga Texas and Giga Shanghai, Model Y is costing Tesla less than half of the selling price. So they could drop the price 10% and not even blink. The reason that they're charging what they're charging is because demand is too high and they don't want the line to be too long. And, it's on the interest of the shareholders to sell the vehicles for more money. And also you have this supply chain crisis of the vehicle that you're selling today, you're not delivering for 6 months. You don't know what your supply chain is going to cost at that time. So they have to anticipate increased cost of materials. So they have to charge more for what they expect the price, the cost of making the vehicle to be in the future. Let's see. I was actually thinking, by the way, I mentioned choice. What if all the money that's spent on politics over abortion, pro-choice and pro-life, what if all that money says, you know what, because Elon talks about the fertility crisis. I've got this magic solution to the whole problem. I'm sure there's something wrong with this. You're going to tell me that I'm an idiot for this idea, but what if we took all the money that was spent on pro-choice politics and pro-life politics, and we put it in a pool, and then a woman walks in an abortion clinic and she says, thinking about having an abortion, and they say to her, listen, if you have the baby, we'll give you $25,000 or $50,000. I don't know how many abortions there are. Maybe there's 1 million a year. I don't know the number. You gave every woman who's going to have an abortion $50,000 to have the child, and every one of them took it. It'd be $50 billion. How much are we spending on this political stuff? Like, if you're a Republican and you want to solve this problem, if you're pro-choice and you're a Democrat, and the woman's going to get 50 grand for having the baby, do you want to stop her from having the baby because she wanted an abortion? Are you so pro-abortion, if that's the right term, that you would oppose the woman taking $50,000 to go ahead and have the baby? There's this, Grimes did an interview with Lex Friedman, and she was talking about, and I've talked about this before, how do we monetize motherhood? How do we make it so that women benefit financially from having children? Because right now they suffer financially from having children mostly. Is there a way we can turn that around? What if we just created a fund We just created a fund in every abortion clinic. We wouldn't make the abortion clinics do it, right? But every abortion clinic, a woman comes in and says, "I want to have an abortion." Would it matter to you if we said you can have $50,000 if you have the child? Would that make a difference? Maybe it'd be $20,000. Maybe it'd be $10,000. Maybe $100,000. How much does it have to be? If we want, now there are people who don't want more children. Okay, so there's people who believe that we're overpopulated. If that's your reason for being pro-choice, then you're not really pro-choice. You're anti-baby, right? So let's be clear. I mean, if you're pro-choice, give the woman the choice. But you shouldn't be opposed to giving the woman the choice of saying, "Hey, now I can afford to have this baby." Don't take away any other government benefits, any other stuff. That'd be something different. How crazy was that idea? 15 million abortions this year versus 1 to 2 million COVID. So let's suppose 10 million women decided to not have the abortion and took the $50,000. It'd be $500 billion. Is that bad? Is it really 15 million abortions? Some of those abortions are, anyway, the people valuing the money more than their kid, bad start for the kid. Well, they don't have a good start anyway. If they're aborted, they don't have a good start. How would Isaac Newton be viewed if he was on Twitter today? Oh, he'd be a racist, of course. Any historical figure would be a racist. Martin Luther King would probably be a racist by today's standards. Rename them pro-death and anti-choice just to get real. Interesting. Okay. Watch Elon interview Tim Dodd. It shows a normal, dedicated man trying to do his best for you. Is there a new Tim Dodd interview? Did it get published? And then what orphanages? I think Romania tried a version of your idea. No, America's rich. There's no, other than the current baby formula crisis, there's no baby starving in America. I'm just saying, maybe $50,000 is enough to sway some of those women to say, you know what, I'll go ahead and have the baby. If it saves 1 million babies a year, is that such a bad thing? Really, are you pro-choice or are you anti-baby? If it sways 1 million women to go ahead and have the baby, would you really oppose that? No pics of Elon's daughter yet. I don't think so. I haven't seen any. I'm just looking at the chat here. My Quebec license plate is TQ Elon. Nice. See. G says, I'm going to be training at Squire Patton Boggs. Yes, I've heard of that law firm, but you're a huge inspiration, particularly in the bravery of taking a step away from law, too. Yeah, and there's something, sorry, just really quick to G is in the chat, is talking about becoming a lawyer. So there are a lot of lawyers who are unhappy. There's a lot of lawyers who are happy. There's a lot of lawyers who don't make a lot of money. People think all lawyers make a lot of money. I did okay. I didn't make as much money as people think lawyers make, but I did all right. I had good years and bad years. Some lawyers do make a lot of money. Some lawyers make $1 million a year plus. A lot of lawyers make $50,000 a year. Public defenders make almost nothing. Prosecutors don't make very much money. A lot of lawyers who struggle without much lawyer. And so I would say, be very conscious of whether you like what you're doing. If you don't like what you're doing when you're young, switch soon. It's easier to switch when you're young than it is when you're in it for a while. Figure out an area of law that you like to do and do that. And it will probably get old anyway, and try to be flexible and try to do more than one thing so that you can shift to something else if you find you don't like what you're doing. There's a lot of pressure when you start, especially if you're working at a big firm like Squire Patton Boggs. There's a lot of pressure to do one thing and do it really well. Get 2 years in big law, you got the experience, you can go do anything you want. So get your 2 or 3 years in. If you think you're going to make it, you're going to make partner at Squire Patton Boggs, you make $1 million a year and you like what you're doing, go ahead and do it. One of my friends from law school works at Skadden Arps, I think it is. He probably makes $2-3 million a year. I don't know how much money he makes, and he loves it. He's thrilled with it. He loves what he does. So if you find something you love and you can make a lot of money on it, sure, keep doing it. But you're going to work crazy hours. You're not going to get to spend a lot of time with your kids. I chose to spend more time with my kids and work less. Admiral Medjay says, you was a my back lawyer. I stayed away from the cases where people weren't really hurt. There are lawyers who will take the cases where people aren't really hurt and they will manufacture a case out of it. I never did that. I never did that. Did I take some cases I shouldn't have taken because they weren't really hurt? Yeah. And I regretted taking those cases. But generally speaking, I would only take a case where somebody was really hurt and was really somebody else's fault and try to get the money. Yeah. And not a sore neck. Hated those cases. There's a real injury. Like client lost his leg in a motorcycle accident. The other driver fell asleep at the wheel. I don't feel bad about that one at all. Public pretenders don't do much. That's why the poor pay. There are some very good public defenders. People are very critical of public defenders. The public defenders in Broward County and Palm Beach County, Florida, where I live, are very, very good. There are some very good. They are under-resourced. They don't have the resources that I would have. As a private defense lawyer, they don't have the resources that I have, but they're very good lawyers. There are some public defenders who aren't as good. There's also some prosecutors who aren't that good. Shara Shannon says $50,000 would definitely sway women to give birth, but without ongoing support, they're not going to raise the baby. No, but we have societal support for women, for poor people to have children. I'm just saying it. Maybe it sways some. Becky Weaver says, going back to Tesla, will Q2 numbers be low? Will the price go under 825? I have options, so please help me out. I think that Q2 numbers are going to be low. I don't know if they're going to be lower than Q1. But it doesn't look good for Q2 right now, but it's early yet. We're still in mid-May, so there's a lot of time left. And if Giga Shanghai goes up and roaring, and they may still beat Q1, we'll see. I don't offer advice on short-term stock prices or options. I don't do options. I don't think about short-term stock prices. I focus on long-term value of the company type stuff. Many ambulance chaser lawyers in Florida have nice millionaire mansions. I know. There's a lot of miserable lawyers. Making money doesn't make you happy. Look, having money is better than not having money, right? But people who spend all their lives chasing, and by the way, we don't chase ambulances anymore. We keep EMTs on retainer and paramedics on retainer. So when they encounter somebody who's been in an accident, they get paid when they refer us the case. A much better system than us driving around chasing. We don't have time to chase the ambulances. Let the ambulance workers send the cases to us. The reason lawyers take ethics training is so they know what they can get away with. There are over 2 million families waiting to adopt a baby. Yeah, how about promoting adoption? How about taking that money that we spend fighting over politics and spending some of that money supporting more adoptions and spending that money, giving money to women to carry the babies to term and take care of their baby. So G says, I have no intention of staying in law, as you hinted. My heart's not in it. Well, don't give up on it yet. Maybe you will like it. I mean, I loved some of what I did as a lawyer. Find something you like doing as a lawyer and do that. Don't give up on law right away. You may find you really like it. Do it if you love it, if you care about it. If you can do it for 5 years and make some money and bank some money, and then it gives you the freedom to do something else, great. And buy Tesla stock. Not financial advice. I need my diversification to go up while Tesla goes down so I can sell all that other crap and put it into Tesla. I sold all my other stuff and put it into Tesla. I have like very little else now. Do I think China is personally harming Giga Shanghai to favor Chinese EVs? No, absolutely not. I think a lot of Chinese EV companies are suffering as well. This is not just affecting Giga Shanghai. This is affecting the entire Chinese supply chain. This is a problem for all the companies in China. It's not just Tesla. And China is not trying to harm Giga Shanghai. China likes Elon. They like Tesla. The Chinese government's got issues. I don't agree with what they're doing, but president of Kyoto University was raised in Mali, West Africa by a single mom earning less than $1 a day. Therefore, why should we pay for American women to have children? Well, Admiral Medjay, do you want women to have more abortions, or do you want them to have to not abort the children? If you give them an economic... Look, you can dislike economic incentives all you want. If you want them to not have abortions, then incentivizing them to have the baby is a really good way to reduce abortions. Government shouldn't be involved in childbearing decisions. I agree with that. I'm not saying the government gives them the money. I'm saying we create private funds. We create a private fund to give money to women who are going into an abortion clinic and they get offered $50,000 to have the baby. I didn't chase ambulances and give my car to the victims. No. I had one quick lawyer story. So I'm representing this guy. He's charged with driving with a suspended license. His license had been suspended for DUI. He's charged with driving with a suspended license. He meets me at the courthouse. He's hammered. He's like really drunk. And I didn't even figure that something was odd about him, but I didn't realize he was drunk right away. So I'm in court. This is my hometown court, Guilderland Town Court. I'm from Guilderland, New York. And one of the court attendants, friend of mine, John Wemple Jr., I think, comes up to me and says, "Hey, Warren, is your client okay? He looks like there's something wrong with him." And I realize, oh shit, my client's drunk. And I just I got a deal already. I just got to get in front of the judge, get the judge to approve the deal. I'm friends with the judge. I'm friends with the prosecutor. I got everything lined up. And this one cop, he's like the big dumb cop. he comes over, he wants to start questioning my client about whether he drove there. It's like, he's not answering any questions. And the cop is trying to like question. I'm not letting him answer any questions. I get my deal. I keep him from having to answer questions from this cop. And I get my deal. And I take my client outside and say, okay, listen, I'm not letting you drive home. And I lie to him and I say, I might be telling the truth, actually. I told him that the cops were watching his car. And if he drove away, they would arrest him for drunk driving. So I took him to a hotel nearby and I told him, hey, stay in the hotel. Go get your car in the morning. Everything will be fine. I was talking to a friend of mine later. I said, did I do the right thing? I'm worried maybe he walked back to his car and drove drunk or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And my friend's like, did I do? He says, no, you should have let him drive away and you should have put a bunch of your cards in the car so he'd call you for the next case. Lawyers are fun. Let's see. Buy Tesla stock, not financial advice. It's moral advice. Let's see. Tell the story with the guy with the wife beater look. What? I don't remember that story. Government should be involved on what? The wife beater. Oh, I had a drunk driving case, and the guy was sitting in the parking lot of his apartment building, listening to his car stereo. He was doing that to get out of his apartment because his daughter was mad at him because his daughter wanted him to drive her somewhere, and she was yelling at him, and he didn't want to drive her somewhere. But he got out of the apartment so he'd get away from her yelling at him. So he's sitting in the car with the engine running, listening to his car stereo, so the battery doesn't die. And they arrest him for drunk driving because the engine's running. So the cop shows up to court in front of the jury wearing a wife beater. That's a white T-shirt that has no shoulders, right? It's commonly known as, for those who are not American, that's commonly known as a wife beater. It's a terrible, terrible thing, but that's the nickname for that type of shirt. And he's just beat, and he testified horribly. And the practical reality was the jury did not like the case. The guy was hammered. I mean, he was I think he blew like a .32, which is like 4 times the legal limit. He didn't want to drive her because he was drunk, right? I mean, he had the intelligence to say, no, I'm not going to take you. I'm not going to drive you in here because I'm drunk. I can't drive. And the jury hated the case. The jury came back with a not guilty verdict after like 20 minutes. And I heard later that the jury walked in the jury room and all agreed not guilty. And they decided to make it look like they thought about it. So they waited 20 minutes to come out with the verdict. So that's Menands Village Court in just north of Albany in New York. Andrew Stahn says, Warren, if we have another financial incentive like $50,000 per baby, some women will take getting pregnant as a job, take a month off, and do it again. Thoughts? Good. We need more babies. Elon says we need more babies. I agree we need more babies. Let's have more babies. Should the U.S. offer any tech-skilled Russian a fast track to citizenship so as to brain drain the country? Okay, let's talk about Russia for a second. There's this whole stuff going on with Ukraine and Russia, and Russia is a third world country. It's a third world kleptocracy. The government of Russia is stealing money from its people. They are wrecking the country's economy. They are wrecking the country. Whatever's going on, if we stayed away from Ukraine, if we just leave Russia alone, they are destroying their own country. They're destroying their own economy. Putin and his people, they are destroying that country. Russia has an economy smaller than the economy of Texas. The Russian economy is smaller than the economy of Texas. It's probably smaller than the economy of Florida. Okay? It's a backwater. It's a technological backwater. It's an economic backwater. Just let them self-destruct. Why are we messing with them? Let them fall apart on their own. Keep an eye on it. Look for pro-freedom forces. When the government collapses, be ready to support the good guys. And make sure you can get control of the nukes so the nukes don't get used. We don't need to mess around with Russia. Women always want money. Ralph with the misogyny. Very nice, Ralph. $10,000 seems more reasonable and still a ton. I'm not saying the number has to be 50,000. Maybe the number's 10,000. I think that's something that you test market. In one market, you offer them $10,000. Another market, you offer them 25,000. You figure out what amount of money dramatically reduces the number of abortions, leads to dramatically more children being born. I think that would be a good thing. Let me come back. I've been going for a while. Lewinsky blew a 9.0. I just want to come back. 9.0. I don't know where the 9.0 comes from. I think it's a 4.3, but so I want to come back to just what the message of this video is. I go through the chat. I just want to come back to this. If you go back to the beginning of this video, if you're watching this live now, if you go back to the beginning of this video, I did a stream of tweets showed a stream of tweets from, you got Biden snubbing Tesla from the EV summit. You got this Brooklyn dad guy trashing Tesla. You got this guy Cooper trashing Elon Musk and Twitter. You got this Conway guy attacking Elon over securities. You got this Covey guy, attacking Tesla. You got this Green guy attacking Elon. You got this Hasan guy attacking Elon from MSNBC. This is like an endless stream. Democrat strategist attacking Elon. You got the New York Times attacking Elon, saying he's responsible for apartheid. You got Amy Siskin from NPR attacking Elon and Tesla, bragging about Tesla stock going down as if that's a good thing for anybody. You got this guy Strauss saying that Elon is in league with Holocaust deniers. You got this guy Kaivan, who's a proud Democrat, and he's repeating all these lies about Elon, the stream of lies about Elon. You've got Pavlovitz attacking Elon. You've got Signorelli attacking Tesla, attacking Elon. The stream of lies, the stream of attacks against Elon. You got this Twitter space attacking Elon. This is coming from the Democratic Party machinery. It's coming from the Democratic Party leadership. It's coming from Joe Biden. It's coming from, where are the good Democrats? Where are the Democrats who support Elon? Look, Elon is doing good things. Start with this. Accelerating the transition to sustainable energy with Tesla. He's helping launch, improving access to space so that America can launch its astronauts to the International Space Station, lowering the cost of access to space so everybody else can get satellites up, providing internet service to remote regions, including Ukraine, doing all kinds of good things. And if you listen to what the Democrats are saying about Elon now, Elon is evil. He's trying to cure brain disease. He's trying to solve traffic problems. He's trying to promote solar and wind and provide and stabilize electrical grids. He's doing all these amazing good things, and they're attacking him relentlessly. It is a stream of attacks. And I'm asking you, if you're a Democrat, speak up and support Elon. Speak up on Facebook, speak up on Twitter, speak up on Instagram, speak up on... Whenever you see somebody criticizing Elon, you respond. Say, no, that's not right. Elon's doing good things. And reach out to your Democratic Party officials, your elected officials, your partisan officials, your bureaucrats, whoever. Say, hey, wait a minute. All these people are attacking Elon. You guys got to stop that. You got to speak up. Call on your Democrat officials and say, hey, you got to speak up. You got to call out these people attacking Elon. If you don't support Elon, if you don't speak up, I'm never voting for you again. I'm telling my friends not to vote for you again. Make it hurt. Make them pay for their silence. Silence is not enough. They got to speak up. Somebody show me. I didn't see anybody in the chat. I don't know if anybody in the chat had any prominent Democrat who said anything positive about Elon in the last few weeks. They're just trashing him and trashing him and trashing him. It's wrong and it's evil. And I will never vote for a Democrat again. This has gone too far. I won't vote for Tina Polsky, state senator who I'm friends with, whose daughter went to school with my daughter. I will not vote for Tina Polsky because she's keeping her mouth shut. I will not support Dean Trantalis, who's supporting the Boring Company in Fort Lauderdale, but Dean Trantalis is keeping his mouth shut. He's not speaking up for Elon. I won't vote for any Democrat again unless the Democrats wake up and they start defending Elon and they start attacking the Democrats who are attacking Elon and they end this bullshit. It's gotta end. It's gotta end right away. This is, I'll guarantee you this. Like, they've been attacking Ron DeSantis. I voted for DeSantis. I voted for Nikki Fried for state agriculture commissioner. She's a Democrat. Voted for Tina Polsky. She's a Democrat for state senate. I vote either side. Ron DeSantis has been a great governor, and all these attacks on Ron DeSantis, it ain't working. These attacks on Elon aren't working either. This is going to kill the Democratic Party. I think the Democratic Party has turned Florida red for the next 10 years. I think this is a terrible strategy. I mean, besides the fact that it's just wrong and it's bad that they're attacking Elon, this is a terrible strategy for the party because Elon has a base of support that is largely Democrats, right? Elon was tight with the Obama administration. He's got former Obama administration officials working at Tesla, working with him. He was tight with the Emanuel brothers, Rahm Emanuel and his brothers. Zeke, I think is his name. Where are they? Why even vote for someone who changes their mind about Elon? They're still liars. No. Point is that I'll reconsider whether I'll vote for a Democrat if they speak up. If the party changes course, if the party recognizes, wait a minute, Elon's a good guy, we got to stop attacking Elon. If we see this turn around, but definitely not in 2022. It ain't happening. Probably not in 2024. It ain't happening. The Democratic Party has some work to do to make up for what they've done. This is absolutely horrible. They're attacking free speech. They're attacking Elon. This is horrible. It's got to stop. Machine that silences the machine. Is that what you're saying, Paul Lewis? Hi, Michelle. Let's see. We got almost 3,000 people live. This is amazing. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching this. China. They're attacking Elon because the secrets will be exposed when he takes over. Well, that's an interesting question. You know, and there's one of the things I talk about on the Daily Lie. For those who are watching this now, I normally don't talk about politics on YouTube. I normally keep my politics on the Daily Lie, warrenredlick.locals.com. Link in the description below. There's a theory that, well, there's a view. One of the things I talk about on the Daily Lie is dissidents. Glenn Greenwald, Matt Taibbi. There's a lot of journalists who are outside the mainstream, and they're now on this primarily on this platform called Substack. R.W. Malone. There's a whole bunch of people who are outside the mainstream. They're dissidents to the mainstream view, particularly on some public health issues we've been talking about, but on other things. And Glenn Greenwald has been pointing out how the national security state has taken over the media. That CNN will have some talking head who used to be with the CIA, and was it Twitter's legal counsel was in the FBI before. The national security state has taken over a large swath of the media and the economy, and that's a problem. Women can already have babies for money. It's called surrogacy. Surrogacy, you're usually getting genetic material from someone else. I'm saying a woman is pregnant. She's carrying a baby right now that's got her genetic material and some other guy's genetic material. That's not surrogacy, right? And I do think they can make, I don't know how much a woman makes for surrogacy, but that's a different thing. And I'm not saying people paying for a surrogate. I'm saying let's create a fund that offers women who are thinking about getting an abortion to not get the abortion. And yeah, some women will go to the abortion clinic to get their money when they weren't planning on getting an abortion, I suppose. But wife and husband show up at the abortion clinic, want an abortion, then get $50,000, keep the kid just looking for Tesla stock. Won't work. Too many abuses. There might be some abuses of it. Yeah, maybe there's a way you can deal with that. I don't care. Make it a not enough money that it's worth doing. Maybe it's $10,000 enough to make a significant change. With the influx and supply of children in orphanages, there are orphanages? Where are there orphanages? And there's a high price to, I don't know about the high price to adopt. Yeah, if we could make it easier to adopt, that would be good too. Let's see. I'm just looking at the chat. Russia is starving the hungry. Yeah, Marlon Brando t-shirt. Is that what they're called? Okay. Women always want, let's see. All right, all right, we've gone an hour and a half. I want to create a baby with Grimes. Sure you do. The Dems will change course after they're destroyed in November. David Kinghorn says this. I agree with this. The Dems will change course after they're destroyed in November. Look at people under 40. The older Democratic ones will never come around. The Republicans had this problem and have reformed a bit. I think there's a really good chance that they're going to get clobbered in 2022. I think they brought up this Supreme Court decision. They made a big stink out of the Supreme Court decision. They leaked that decision because they were worried about 2022. I don't know if that decision was going to come out before the election. And I think that they're trying to change the subject from the terrible economy and all the other problems we'd have. Did drunk client use Uber? I have had clients use Uber, and I've encouraged clients to use Uber, but this is like more than 10 years ago. Uber wasn't as common back then. Republicans and libertarians support Elon. Yes. Men would have to pimp out women to get that 50,000. I'm not talking about individual men. I'm saying take the money that people are spending on politics related to abortion. The money that the Democrats spend on abortion politics, the money that the Republicans spend on abortion politics, that the special interest groups spend on abortion politics. Take that money, put it in a fund, and give it to women who are thinking about getting an abortion to persuade them to not have an abortion. Can I raise awareness about the fact that there are prominent Democrats who literally get paid by Democratic super PACs to tweet? I don't know that, but I think it's probably true. I think there's something going on here where the Democratic Party machinery and special interests and whatever are spreading these messages. See. Robert Hirsch says, so it isn't Grimes' baby. I think it is Grimes' baby. I think Elon and Grimes fertilized an egg, and then that was implanted in a woman. I think that's what they did. Dems will change course after they're destroyed. Right, we covered that. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this up really quick. I just want to close with this message. If you are a registered Democrat, if you are a partisan Democrat, you support the Democratic Party, fine. There are issues where I agree with you. I don't think the Democratic Party is as good as it should be on those issues, but whatever. Right now, the Democratic Party is at war with Elon. You can watch the beginning of this video. I went through it again. They're at war with Elon. They're attacking Elon, and there are no good Democrats who are speaking up to support Elon. So you have to speak up. You have to reach out to your elected officials and your party officials. Speak up and tell people we need to fix this. We need to change things. The Democratic Party leadership needs to stop attacking Elon and needs to start and leaders in the Democratic Party need to start defending Elon and they need to start calling out the Democrats who are attacking Elon. Because as long as the Democratic Party is at war with Elon, they're at war with me. As long as they're at war with Elon and Tesla and SpaceX and Boring Company and Neuralink, they're at war with a good future. They're at war with making the world a better place. And I'm at war with them. And I will not, I literally cannot imagine myself voting for a Democrat again for the foreseeable future. Maybe never. I'm angry. I'm really, really mad. Because Elon has been doing good things for a long time, and they're just attacking him relentlessly, and it's a disaster. It's going to be, by the way, it's going to be a disaster for the Democratic Party in 2022. It's going to be a bloodbath. There are a lot of Democrat congressional members of Congress who are decided not to run for re-election because they know they're going to get clobbered. It's going to be awful for the Democrats, and 2024 is going to be worse. It's going to be a night. If you think things were bad under Trump before, first of all, they weren't that bad under Trump. Not that I'm certainly not a fan of his. They weren't that. You made it sound worse than it was. The media exaggerated everything bad and ignored everything good. Still, I'm still not a fan. I still think he was a terrible president, but he wasn't as bad as you guys make him out to be. He might be back, or Ron DeSantis might be president, and your media is going to be complaining louder than ever. And you're going to marginalize the Democratic Party more and more and more and make everything worse. So, with that said, I really appreciate you watching. Please support this channel. Please check out my channel, The Daily Lie, on warrenredlick.locals.com. That's where I talk about politics. I generally don't talk about politics here on YouTube. I may do it more depending on how this video goes. Probably going to get demonetized by YouTube. Who knows? Check out the t-shirts at elonbits.com. We're all wrong. We need to be less wrong. We can learn from our mistakes. I can learn from you in the chat. Maybe you learn from me here. We can all do better in the future. Check out my other videos. And thank you so much for watching. And thanks to the moderators as well.